Yanar Mohammed from Iraq. Congratulations with the Rafto Prize 2016.
Thank you so much.
It's so nice to have you here in Bergen. I want to start to ask you, first of all, can you describe how the situation are for women in Iraq today?
So if you are a woman in Iraq, first your location makes all the difference. Western Iraq is a deadly place for you. When you are a woman living alone, even in the peaceful parts of Iraq, you cannot be thought as living alone. You are immediately targeted. You need to have a male relative to whom you need to be close and feel protected. The situation of instability and conflict in Iraq made every female feel unsafe. And if we want to think of the orphans of war who do not have much protection, the situation can be very grave. I remember the Iraq that I grew up in, where education was offered to everybody, female and male, where jobs were waiting for us after we graduated, and where many injustices occurred, but there were big parts of Iraq if you were not involved in a political dissent situation, you wouldn't be hurt.
So what are the war doing to women? Can you describe that?
You are worried sick that when your children leave the house, they will not come back. If you are a woman heading to work, the street is not a comfortable place to be for women in Iraq. You know that the laws are not with you. So you have to keep the head low and lay low and try to keep your job going. I worry for the children, especially for the female. If you are a bit younger, sexual harassment is definitely your share. It reached to the extent where in the city of Mosul and Hawija and ISIS-controlled areas, they put a dress code for women. If you are a married woman, you wear the niqab, the black niqab, from top to bottom. But if you are unmarried, you wear white from top to bottom. They want to know.
And if you don't do this, what happened to a woman then?
There are hundreds of women who were killed because they did not obey the regulations of ISIS. There were not even thousands, tens of thousands of women who were beaten at the door of their house because they just stepped out.
When the kids are watching?
When everybody is watching. In the first days of the ISIS controlling of the city of Mosul and other cities, they would even feel free to open the door of your house, step into the house and ask who are the unmarried females. And if one of the girls is not married, they will tell the people of the house, she is gonna be the wife of the emir, and they kidnap these young women in broad daylight.
We are hearing about death threats, honor killings, and here you are trying to help women with shelters.
I believe that women have a right to life. I will not take any refusal of that right from anybody. And the government does not even feel obliged to protect the women. So if we do not do it, if I do not make myself part of that struggle, it's not happening.
But the shelters are illegal in your country.
When honor killing against females is supported by the laws, when the tribes think of females as property to be bought and sold, and when the state has no obligation to save the women of Iraq, a threatened woman has nowhere to go. So what would you do in such a country? In my feeling, I see that the first thing that females need is a second alternative to all this violence, that she cannot say no to the violence if there's nowhere for her to go. At this moment, we have 6 locations for the sheltering of women and partly threatened LGBT in Iraq, and many officials in the government tell us that these places are illegal, they told me that I am not allowed to run shelters for women. So I told them, look, if you as a state have the obligation of protecting the citizens, and specifically the female citizens of Iraq, and women are being thrown as dead bodies into the morgue every day in Baghdad and in other cities. So what are you doing to protect them? The deputy told me that they will be doing these shelters, and they will be doing them when the time comes, because it is their right to do it. I told him, but women are dying every day.
Can you describe, Yanar Mohammed, how it is for you and your organization to work in these circumstances? How can you manage? How is it possible?
Iraq is my homeland, and I was born in the city of Baghdad. This is the community I grew up in, and everybody I know, I love and respect is there. So for me, just to step out and, like, what is the answer? Come and live in Bergen? For somebody like me, this peace, this safety means nothing if I cannot take some of it back to Iraq. When you are the head of an organization, your own personal life only has one meaning. We look at ourselves as those who hold the vision for a better Iraq, where equality and freedom rule, and where there is no discrimination against any other.
Do they try to stop, this hard work and fight that you're doing for women, Yazidi women, and other minorities?
If you interview the officials of the UN in Iraq and you ask them, what did the police, what did the militias, what are they saying about Yanar's shelters, they will tell you that they are cracking jokes that they can raid our shelters whenever they please to. They will bring the militia of the neighborhood, and they have Iraqi names for it, the Maktab, or I don't want to mention names because I will be taken to prison for it. They tell us that they will bring the militia, that they will close this house, and they tell us that this is a brothel that has to be closed. We did receive a couple of threats throughout the past years, but we got used to them. What we do is that within 3 days, we find another place to move to. We rent it out and we move all the furniture and the women to that house. So we were able to keep all the women who came to us alive and safe. And throughout 13 years of work, we are proud to say that more than 500 women were able to keep their livelihood and their well-being, their dignity, and many of them have their own families, and we are very happy that a small percentage of them have become the younger leaders of AUFI, and they are starting new shelters. And this culture of the protection and empowerment for women grows on and becomes bigger, and it turns into a culture where many males are supporting us, and they are bringing their sisters and their wives to be part with us in this work that we do. I'm very proud of the community that is around us, and I just hope we are empowered more by the community at large in Norway.
What should we do?
The international community were partners with the US when it started the war on Iraq in 2003. The international community should have put pressure on the US and the UK to bring forward a political government to Iraq, not a religious government. Peace does not get handed down to you easily, especially if you live in a zone like Iraq. There is a tremendous amount of political struggle that needs to be organized on the ground, and we believe that the answer should be from the Iraqi people, not from abroad. We know that Iraq has been turned into like a stock market where every foreign country has some stocks in it, and each part wants to raise their stocks and have some profit and have a bigger share of Iraq, which may mean bigger share of oil or may mean bigger share of political influence. But that is a formula that will have to change.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Kari.